What's up, everyone? Welcome to Unity in 5, where we go ahead and try to go over pretty much all of Unity in about 5 minutes or less each video. So today we're going to be going over basically just setting up your first project, and that can be kind of daunting sometimes, but with this little video it should prove pretty easy. When you log into Unity Hub, it should look a little bit like this, but with less projects. There probably will be none. First thing you go ahead and do is just click New Project. And there'll be a bunch of different templates, and depending on what you're making, you might want to go ahead and download one of these. If you're doing a movie or something like that, you might want to do that. Augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, which is AR and VR. Or if you want to use any render pipelines, you can go ahead and use the tutorials. Generally speaking, you'll be using a 3D core or anything like that. You go ahead and name your project something, we'll call it blah blah, for no reason, and set its location. For me, I'll have mine set to my desktop on my separate device drive. And you'll go ahead and set your organization. You should automatically have one as your username. If not, you can go ahead and set one up. We'll cover that in another video probably, but you should already have one for you just set as your username. So we'll just go ahead and set that one, and you can use Unity version control, which is just if you want to make it with somebody else, they can have access to the project and upload and download updates. So let's go ahead and start with that. And we'll open up Photoshop while it uploads, so you guys don't see my desktop, because that's kind of weird. And we'll go ahead and pause the video and restart when it's up. And now when loading up your project, you will go ahead and see you have a project folder, a console folder, hierarchy, scene, game, asset store, and inspector. The hierarchy is going to be your place where you can see all the objects that are in the scene. For example, if we go ahead and create a cube, you'll see the cube in there. The scene view is where you can actually see your scene. You can hold Alt to pan around an object, middle click to do that, mouse click to select any object, and you can also disable and enable these, but we don't really have time for that. But lighting, 2D mode, all that sort of stuff. Then you have the game mode, which if you play your game, that is where you can see it. And the asset store, where you can go ahead and download assets to help you improve your game quickly or faster. The project folder, where you can see all the assets that are actually in your game, not just in the scene, and the inspector, where you can just look specifically at an object and its components. For example, a collider or a renderer, or anything like that. And in these other places, you have file, where you can make new scenes, select build settings, edit, where you can look at all this stuff, and assets, etc. Game objects, where you can add new things to your scene, components, where you can add components to objects. For example, if we wanted to add an audio source, we would just do that, and it would add it to that specific object we have selected. Services and windows, where you can select all the different windows, including animation and other stuff we'll go over in this series. And then if you have any other questions, you can click Help and About Unity, Unity Manual, Script and Reference, Learn, Services, etc. And that is a pretty much basic, quick introduction into Unity, as fast as I can do it. One other thing quickly, you have the package manager, which will allow you to select specific other packages you might want to add to your game. You can click here and go to the Unity registry. You can also view the assets that you own. If you want to make a 2D game, you would have these different packages. 3D world characters and animation can be nice to have sometimes if you're making that. Gameplay and storytelling, those are all always nice to have. Mobile games, VR packages, etc. And just different stuff like that. Anyways, that was all. See you guys in the next one.